In the world of app modernizations and bringing their business on the cloud, many complex applications found difficulties managing their apps and the microservices RESTful APIs, wherein they have thousands of microservices hosted on the cloud. Customers are looking for a centralized place to manage all the APIs from the single portal or the single service. There was also a demand from many customers to have a service or a portal from where they can host their services. They can ask different providers or their customers to bring their own services onto the portal. So Microsoft started thinking on that direction, thinking about the demand and requests which they have been asked to. After years of investment and applying the thought process, they managed to onboard such a beautiful service which they are calling API Management, which gives ability to host their APIs from the centralized place. Not only that, it also offers a cost-effective platform as solution wherein customer can focus on their business and the APIs can be managed from a centralized service. Let's look at the demo now. I'm on my Azure portal, and here I've searched for the API space management. So you'll see the list of services as an API management. It might take the approximately 40 to 45 minutes to provision the API management. The reason for taking this much of long period is because this particular thing takes the entire infrastructure for you. It creates a server, a dedicated server, virtual network, and all those backend infrastructure for you, and you get the entire platform set for you where you host your API, you manage your APIs and all those things are there. So it takes a while to provision this service. Basically, the API management is great, it's successful. It took a while as expected. Let me click on the API management and walk you through all the feature it has got. I'm on the dashboard of the API management. Here you can find the quick detail about the API management information. On the left hand side plate, it has got couple of settings group, and each group has various settings or the configurations for the API management, which will go to the details. Let's first of all look at the dashboard itself. You find the resource group, status of the API management, locations, and then obviously subscription information, and here you got the developer portal URL. So as in the start of the demonstration of this video, we have seen that the API management, there was asked from the different clients that we need a portal to manage all our APIs. So that's the portal which is been provided by API management, wherein a developer can manage their own APIs. They can bring their APIs, they can test their APIs from the developer portal itself. For example, if I go click on the URL given here, it should bring me the API itself. So at the moment you can say that the developer portal is not yet been published. So to do that, what do I need to do is I need to open the developer portal. Recently Microsoft Azure make an update to the API management wherein they have provided an ability to customize the developer portal as per your need. So basically, if I want to customize or want to deploy the API management developer portal, make adjustment to the developer portal, then I can have the ability to do that. For example, I can customize the and change the look and feel of the developer portal. I can change the entire HTML layout of the developer portal, and I can create our own industry standard or the organization specific layout to the developer portal, wherein I can say if I want to, let's say, create an API gateway platform to manage all my APIs, and I have a different customers provider who are, you can change the menu button from here, entire layout. You can change the sign in, sign out, export different APIs here. I can change the entire layout, customize the basically HTML format of this particular layout. As you can see here on the page, I have multiple options to onboard the entire website. So this is what I can do, and once it is there, you have full set of capabilities to manage everything. Once it is there, you can publish the website. So once you publish it, your developer portal should be ready in fraction of few seconds. It's successfully published, and now I can see I have the sign up button, login button, wherein I can sign in to the page. For the sign in, as of now I can go ahead and use my own email ID, username, password, and then sign in. It will send you an email to your email address. So after the email verification, I've successfully logged into the developer portal. Here I can go ahead and search for the products if it has APIs. So any product or any APIs, I can go ahead and search for those. So let me walk you through what is the product. So we have successfully checked the developer portal. We'll bring back to the developer portal once we have the APIs published. So first of all, let's look at what all the APIs are. So here on the left hand side blade, you can see in the API management we have the API sections, wherein you can bring your APIs directly from the different options. For example, if I want to publish the API through the Swagger endpoint, if I have the Swagger endpoint URL or the server side URL, I can host the API from the server side URL. If I have the API Swagger JSON downloaded on my machine, I can host the API directly from the Swagger JSON as well. I can host the API from the Logic app or Azure function as well. So there are multiple options. You can go ahead and choose the API. If you don't want to choose any of the backend API, you can go ahead and create the mock operation directly from here. I can go ahead and, let's say, HTTP, let's say any operation, sessions name, or I can provide the server side URL suffix to the URL, and then once I hit it, I should have the operations available here. This is about the creating the operations right away from here directly. We'll take a look at the importing the API or publishing API from the Swagger endpoint as well. Just be there. Before I move on to creating the API from the Swagger endpoint, let's look at the built-in API which has been created from the EcoTest API. So EcoTest is the API which comes with the API management just to get the idea how the API management features and capabilities work from the overall capability perspective. So if I look at correctly, it has got number of APIs which is being hosted from the API management inside the API management, and then here what I can do here is I can go to the settings, check what all settings it has got, such as in display name, the server URL. I can always go to the server URL, and this is the URL. So any consumer who wants to consume the EcoTest API, they need to consume the API via the API management now, because the EcoTest API, which is this one, is my backend API, and now I am in front of the backend API. I am putting one front facing component, which is my API management. So any consumer who are requesting for this particular API, they need to come via this particular EcoTest, this particular API management URL. Now, as you have the multiple APIs, and each API can have the multiple operations, so one API can be part of one to many products. So in this case, the API has been part of two different products. One is the startup product, and other one is the unlimited product. And there is an application gateway, which is again a name is given as a managed. So we'll go to that as well. Here, if I scroll it down, you have the subscription required. So it says yes, you do require a subscription. You can't use it until unless somebody is subscribed to this particular API. And once you get the subscription key, once you subscribe, you will get a subscription key. And once you have the subscription key available with you, you need to pass on this particular header name along with the subscription key which you have received, and then only you would be able to call or make a call to this particular REST API. Next is the security aspect of the API management, such as in, if you want, you can host any specific APIs to a different authorization provider, authorization provider, such as in OAuth, OpenID, and others, right? So at the moment, by default, it is not selected because our EcoTest API is just open to all. We are not bringing any authorization OAuth2 or anything like that. But if you wish to, in your business scenario, if it wish to, you can bring the OAuth2 providers for your API management. I can go ahead and select the API management application insight, enable the application insights for my API management individual operations for all the APIs, or do any specific APIs as well. So depending upon the need. This is why this setting is here. Now let's go to the settings tab. If I go to the settings tab here, let's go to the test tab. I'm on the test tab right now, and from here what I can do here is I can provide, let me go to the test get method and try to use the test method. So I'm expecting the result to be passed on, and as you can see, I got the success response with the API, with this particular API, get API, which you can see the result code as in 200. So this way you can test the API directly from here, or if you don't want to test from here, what you can do is you can go to the API management. Here is my EcoTest API management developer portal. You can go to the developer portal. Here is my developer portal. I'll click on the EcoTest APIs. Click here, one of the operations, try it now, and from there you should be able to test the APIs right away. Like for example, you need to pass on the information which has been asked here, and you get the option. So at the moment I'm getting the error. So if you get this error, which is course related error, so what you need to do is you need to go to the API management again, and there is a course settings. So here in the portal preview settings, you need to enable the course. Once you enable the course, your error should be removed. So let me check that now. If I go back to the settings and hit now, I should get the response. I'm getting the 401 error. The reason for getting the 401 error is because I'm not passing any subscription key, as you can read the information here. So what I can do now is I can subscribe to the product, and for that what I need to do is I need to go to the portal. Sorry, I closed it down by mistakenly. I'll go to the portal again, sign in, products. So here what do you need to do is you need to subscribe for the product. So I am going to choose a subscription. I'm going to call subscription 01, and here is this. I have subscribed to the product immediately, and the subscription is submitted. Now the submission request go to the administrator of the API management, which in this case my Hotmail ID. So on my Hotmail I'll receive an email from the API management that Mr. XYZ has been subscribed for this particular product. And similarly for the same case, my API management, my email address will also receive an email as a requester that thanks for subscribing our API product and so on. We'll get back to you, and this kind of an email you will get. So what now, there are two persons, right? One is this requester who is requesting for the specific product of the API management, and the other one is the person who is going to manage the subscription request, right? So if I go to the API management subscription request, API management back again, so considering as an administrator I got an email, and then what I can do, I can go to the hyperlink which I've received on my email, or as an administrator what I can do here is I can go and check all the subscription requests based on the pending approval. As you can see, I have the different number of subscription requests. I can go and activate the subscription request. Once I activate the subscription request, that user will receive an email that your request has been subscribed successfully. So now you should be able to use the API, and you are good to go basically. So what I can do now, as you can see, the status of the API management is the particular product has been changed now. And one thing to remind you here is it's totally managed by Microsoft. I have not written a single line of code for each and every feature of this. So what I am doing from my side as a developer, as an administrator, is I am just hosting the API. As you can see, I got an email that thanks for your subscription to this particular product is successfully granted or approved basically. So what I was saying is you are getting the full set of features from the Microsoft, that it provides you all the capabilities, right, to manage all your APIs. So if I go to the API again and try to test it now, this time I'm expecting, as you can see, the subscription key was automatically here. Earlier this text box was blank. So if I'm going to hit the send button now, hopefully this should work. As you expected, my API is working fine and I'm getting the 200 response. So as a third party developer or a provider, I can go to my service provider, search for a specific product, I'm interested, subscribe for the product, and then choose the product using this particular key which I've received it. So that's the beauty of the entire developer portal. It has got number of other features which you can utilize it. This is one of the most beautiful feature you got it here. Now this is about the API and the products. You can find the product information in the API management as well. I will let you know in a while. Before I leave from the API management portal, I just want to show you. As you can see, you have the two products here. One product says you have the unlimited number of API access, and basically, but to access the unlimited APIs you need to have the approval, right? Whereas the startup product, it says that you would be able to access the API management as a subscriber, but only 5 calls per minute would be allowed to you, and 100 calls per week basically. So here in this case, product number 1 is startup product. We are allowing a user to get the feel of the API management, my specific API, but I am restricting not to use extensively. This is just a kind of a marketing purpose or just to get a feel of it. But how do I do that in the API management? Do I need to write a code for that, or do as a developer, is this been managed at the server side? And how do I manage all those, you know limitations and everything like that? Where those limitations features comes from? Is there a code I need to write down? That's the question it comes to. We'll get back to that. Before that, let's go on to the product. So as I mentioned, each API or the API contains multiple operations, right? So one API, similarly, each API can have multiple operations. Similar to that, a API can have the multiple products as well, or a single product can have multiple APIs as well. So there is a one to many to many relationship basically. So if I click on a specific product, then I would see the list of APIs available. So I can go ahead and add the API. Yep. And similar to that, I can go to the API and add the products as well. So product is basically you are managing your management layer to your APIs, wherein you are managing or controlling your APIs or grouping your APIs basically to logical products. For example, I could have the product for my login management, login management, sign up management, sign out management, order management product could be, or I could have the accounting product and all those things wherein I can control or manage all my APIs into a logical separated group, which I'm calling it as a product, right? And then on top of the product, I can have the limitations applied. For example, you can have the limitations as the limitations we have seen on a specific product, such as on a startup product. There is a limitation that a person can call the API management 5 times per minute maximum, and only 100 call allowed. So this is the limitation which has been applied on the product side. So how the limitations is applied on the product side is through the policies. So policies is a feature in the API management wherein you can control your API management request and response through the various policies. So there are a number of policies available. Basically, there are two different type of policies. One is the inbound policies, which controls and manages incoming request, and other one is the outbound policies, which controls and manages is the outbound request. So the request which is going out of server side to the consumer is managed by the outbound policy, and the request which is coming from this consumer and going to the server is managed by the inbound policy. So for example, if I check the startup product, herein is one of the inbound policies which says there is a rate limit tag which has been applied, a XML tag, or you can call it as an think this XML tag is an XSLT tag. So this XSLT or the XML tag has been applied, which monitors that how many calls has been gone through for API which is been tagged to the startup product basically. So, and then it also monitors the number of calls quota. There is a quota tag as well. So these are the inbound policies. There are a number of policies which has been there and provided by Microsoft. You can go ahead and check those policies on the documentations. I'll provide a link for that document. So here you can find, now there are various type of policies which you can write down, and it's not only limited to that. You can write your own custom policies as well, like transform XSL and XSLT policies, JWT token policies, CORS policies, or any other HTTP header policy. If you want to add additional HTTP header, if you want to validate any incoming HTTP header or JWT token, basically any property within the JWT, you can validate that as well. So it is a wide variety of options which you can apply on the product level, and also you can apply on the API level as well. Let me go through the API management as well. So you can say, okay, apply the inbound or the outbound policies right here on all the APIs, or if I want, I can go ahead and apply all the inbound and outbound policies onto a specific APIs, all the operations within the specific APIs as well. Or if I want to apply a policies on a specific operations within the API. So you understand, right? Three things. First, apply a policy to all the APIs within the API management. Apply a policy to all the operations on a specific API. Apply a policy to a single operation on a specific API. So it is going, you are going basically to a granular level, on a more specific detail level of controlling your API operations, your APIs, your customization of all your APIs, right? So all those things are, so subscription management portal, this is the subscription management portal wherein as an administrator I can see all my subscription which has been requested against a particular product. If I walk you through about the subscription management portal, here is the detail. It's about the name of the product, primary and the secondary keys, the scope of the subscription, which is the product in this case, but I can have the scope not only to the product, but I can have a scope to the API as well. I'll show you just in just a moment. And the state which is active, and the owner, it is managed by administrator or a particular logged in user. For example, that particular request is not managed by the administrator, it is managed by some other user which has the access to the API management. So it is keeping track of all those activities which has been performed on the API management subscription request. So here you have the different option. I can regenerate the primary and the secondary specific key. I can delete entire subscription, cancel the subscription, and manage basically the entire subscription request. So as I was saying, this request is not only specific to the subscription, but it could be specific to the API operation as well. So let me check the subscription request number 2. Name is sample or the demo. Here you can see I have all the APIs. Scope to this particular subscription request is scope to all APIs, specific API. Here I need to choose the API, or a product. In that case I need to choose the product. So you have the option again to manage all your APIs at the different level from the subscription portal. Yeah. So this is again things to remember. If you are trying to manage such scenarios, you have the option to do that as well. Let me finally switch back to the API section, and here I would like to show you the demonstration of how do you publish your APIs onto the API management through the Swagger endpoint or the Open API endpoints. So let me check I'm onto the APIs right now. I'll click here, and then on the Open API I'll go and provide the URL of the Open API. Here is the one of the conference API which I'm using it. You can find the details about the conference API onto the Microsoft website. So this is one of the conference API which I'm using it. So as you can see, as soon as I've entered the URL, it has automatically detected the URL details. So if I go to the details about my API, here in the title section you can see the title, it has detected from there, and you got the title, and based on the title it has just appended the dash character in that, and then it has chosen the name. If you want, you can choose a different name for that. If you want to specify any specific property about the suffix about your API management, you can do that as well. So let me go ahead and create the APIs here. As you can see, the entire API has been imported in just a fraction of seconds. Now here I can go ahead and simply test the APIs if I want to. in the settings, what I can do here is I can change the settings. It says subscription requires yes, because it is expected to require a subscription. At the moment this particular API is not been attached to any of the products. So if I go to the developer portal again, if you see there is no products, or if I look at the products, there is just Eco API is available here. If I check the another portal as well, Eco API is available. If I check the API, just one API is available. Now to bring the APIs or to publish that particular API, what do I need to do is I need to go to the API, and then from here I can go ahead and choose a specific product, or I can go ahead and create one new product. I'll call the product as in demo product, and then I'll say require subscription yes, require approval. If you want, you can choose a require approval as well, and then you can put a subscription limits. Let's say this limit is going to be a per user subscription limit. So as a user, if I want to allow a user to choose multiple subscription, then I can manage the multiple subscription from here. If you want, you can specify the detail about the products. This is my demo product for API demonstration. Yep. Legal terms and condition, if you wish, you can add the some legal conditions, terms and conditions, so that details will be available when somebody is going to subscribe for your product. Here you can select an API. Once you click on that, you select the API. So all the things which I'm demonstrating here right from the developer portal, it can be managed through the REST API, which I have just now shown you, which is this one. Sorry, not the Management API, REST API, and also it can be possible through the Azure CLI or through the PowerShell as well. I have the full set of PowerShell script documented in one of my blog script. I'll share the link of that particular blog script. So if you want to automate that, all those deployment, creation of product policies and everything like that, you can use my blog to copy the script and understand what I have done it over there. Let me create a product which has the API in that, and then once the product is created, I'll go ahead and find the product here if I have the product available. The reason for product was not available over there, you can see the product is not yet published. So what I need to do is I need to double click on that, and I need to basically publish that particular product, which is again a toggle button, which I missed it. So let me go ahead and refresh now. Hopefully this time it should be available. No, this is not available because the access control is managed only through the administrator. So if I am going to log in through the administrator, user as an administrator, so it will be available to me. But as you can see, I have logged in as my Gmail account as a guest user or a developer. That's why it is not available, which is good. So now what I need to do here is I need to go to the access control, add the API management to the developers group just to get the visibility to a user, and once I do that, I should have access to the demo product. Here we go. So this is what you can do. You can publish an API, add an API to a product. So now as a user, I will say okay, demo API subscription, let's say my first subscription, and you can see here you got a little button here for with the terms and conditions. Once you click on show, I have the full set of documentation list which have been provided while creating a product. You can do that, read the terms and condition, which is legal term, which is a very good legal terms and conditions, which I've seen for very first time. Now I have the subscription request created, which is in active mode, because when we created a product, we have marked the product to require approval as in true. It means any subscription which has been subscribed by any user that requires an approval by the administrator. So as an administrator, what do I need to do is, as you can see, I got the email as well. I need to do is I need to go ahead and subscribe. Either I need to approve or reject. I can go ahead and approve and reject that. So let me activate the subscription for now. So once I do that, the subscription is activated, and then I should have access to the sessions API. Let me go to the products demo, and you have the APIs here, all the APIs basically. I'll click here, search the API, and then, sorry about that, it is asking for some value. I'll provide some value, and here you go. You got the subscription details, and you got all the details about your data. Yeah, want to try some more, and let me check some more details about that. Get all speakers. Yep, as you can see, I got whole set of list. Obviously you can test through the tools like Postman as well if you want to. So we have seen the publishing of APIs from the developer portal. We have seen the creation of products, user group, and all those things, right? But API management has got a very good feature about managing the versions and the revision as well. So if I go back to my API, if you've seen carefully, it is showing revision 1. Yeah, what is that revision 1 is all about? So API management has got two different features. One is revision and the other one is version. So revision is basically useful for a development team, wherein development team want to deploy some set of feature for their front end developer without impacting their end user, or any other users basically. And certain feature, by the means, let's say I've the the front end development team is working on some feature. For that they need the API, one REST API call to invoke, and that particular REST API has been not been successfully completed by the backend development team. So with the help of revision, what I can do is I can create another set of revision for the API management, and then I can ask the front end development team to use that particular set of feature to be used directly. So let me show you how do I do that. So what I can do is I can go to the revision, all operations, revisions, and as you can see, the revision is by default current online, and which is the current one. If I want, I can go ahead and create another revision, and this time I will call revision 1 or revision 2 basically. Once I'm going to click on create, it will create another revision for me. Yep, as you can see, another revision is created, and that is not current, but I can make it current, so that can be used. So anytime whoever wants to call the API, they can call it via the URL, and then they can pass on this particular thing, so they would be able to make a call to the revision. Now on my revision, what I can do here is I can add one more operation, or let's say call the operation name as a demo session. Yep, the method name demo, and then once I have, call it save. So once I have the API response type created, which I can show you from the settings, go to the settings from here, choose the response type, provide a description. I made a mistake by providing the response here in the description, that's why it was not appearing. So you need to basically specify the content type. Once you specify the content type, you can specify the sample JSON and the type of definition. Once that has been saved, next thing what do you need to do here is go to the inbounds policy and then add the mocking policies based on the status code which you have chosen and the content type which you have chosen. So based on that, you are good to set the mock. So on our revision 2, we have done the configuration of the demo. Now let's test this out. If I go to the test panel for that particular method, I should have, using this particular URL, now I'm expecting the mock response. As you can see, I got the mock response with the status goes 200. So this is what you can do with the revision. So as you can see, with the help of revision, I'm enabling my front-end team to move on without having any need of creating the backend development completed. So this was one of the biggest thing which was sorted out here with the use of API management. So you are creating the mock response right away from the API management. You don't need to write a single line of code again, and then you are still able to use the other revision as well. So you can always go and switch back, which is this one is your active revision. And one last thing I would like to show you on the API management API is you can create the version of your API. So as I mentioned, there are two things. One is revision. As we have seen, you can create a different revision for your API, and then also you can create a multiple versions of your API as well. So here you can see add a revision and then add a version as well. I can always go to the settings of the API. I can go to the settings, and from here revisions, I can make a specific revision to online, make it current. Now let's go to the version. I can go ahead and create a version, let's say v1, name v1, and then I should be able to create a version. And here again, another things to mention, you can do one thing is your version 1, let's say configured with product demo, but version 2 you want to configure with some other product or future product, let's say call the future demo. So that is again what I can do here as well. So let's say for now I'm just moving it to demo, which is by default. So let me create that, and as I create a new version, you will see there is a drop down button with the version. The actual version is marked as an original, and the new version is marked with this particular v1, which is the name which I have provided here. So here again I can go ahead and change the configuration of your, or add new signatures or basically new features to your APIs, create certain new methods which I can provide. And what would be the scenario in this case when it is going to use? So let's say this particular API has been used by multiple customers, demo API. So demo API is being used by, let's say, 10 customers, 10 different providers, or 10 consumer applications. So while some of them new consumer are asking for XYZ features to be added on the API management, and others are saying no, we are okay to use the whatever features it is already got, so we are okay to continue with that. To get both the consumer without impacting their productivity, what we can do is we can bring two different or multiple version of the same set of APIs right away here in the API management, and you don't need to write any additional code, or you don't need to change your strategy on the backend API side. So what I can do is I can have the original API which has been consumed by few set of consumers, and I can have a new version of the same API which has the additional features which can be used by new consumers or the existing consumer which are asking for those new set of features, right? So and this is how I can roll out the feature. And let's say if in after 6 months or so I don't want to continue with the old set of features, then I can terminate the old version and then continue with the new version. So you can always do that. Here if I go to the settings, you'll see all the revisions and versions in your API. So by the time when I created the version, whichever revision I have choose, based on that particular revision my version is created. That's why it has chosen this particular revision. Let's say if I'm going to go ahead and choose another revision, let's say I'm choosing revision 2, and now on top of that if I'm going to create another version, then here on my version a new that particular revision will display. So let me show you. Create new, and then once I go ahead and check that, it has revision 2 with that, whereas v1 has got the original revision. Yeah, so this is how you can manage your revisions and versions. I hope this has given you some idea. Now if I go back to the API management, yeah, products, and then here I can do one thing. Let's say demo with new versions. I'll say requires approval is true, publish equal to true, and then I will say select an API. Here you can see I have got multiple versions to specify, so I can choose, let's say original demo product was dedicated for unlimited products, so they can use the unlimited product, but the version 1 is specific or version 2 is specific to this new demo version product. Let me give the name with v1, and then this is how I can do. I can say okay, for this version I'll just offer you for maximum up to 2 subscription count for per user account, and then yes, v1 click create. So once I need to manage the access control as well, so that it is available on the developer portal. If I go to the developer portal again, let me go back to the products. Here I have the different products. Product 1 with the original vision. Here in this case I have got this version which I can subscribe to. Let me go and subscribe again. Subscribe, expecting this, and once it has got here, you can see it has got both the version 1 and the original version as well. So this is how you can use the version features. Like version 1 has got this set of methods, original version has got n number of methods, whereas version v1 has got n plus 1 or n plus 10 number of methods which they can consume it. Yep. So this is how the version and revision feature you can use it if you want to. In your developer portal, in your API management, you can bring your own identity to manage your API management portal. At the moment it has been supported by Azure Active Directory and Active Directory B2C. You can go ahead and check the documentation about adding your own identity. So it's not only about the AAD and B2C, but you can also bring in your own type of identity, such as in social media identity as a Facebook, Google, Microsoft or Twitter. So you can go ahead and provide the different configuration, or you can configure your identities like B2C. So once you configure the identity as in B2C, so what I can do here is, using the B2C configuration, we can configure the B2C here, and on the developer portal we can ask user to log on or to sign up using their own B2C registration. So at the moment, the user, when the user is user is subscribing or signing up to the API management, all the users are getting managed inside the API management database itself. So it is not going to, let's say, my Active Directory as a guest user. But if I want to control all those users to via my Active Directory as in B2C, so what I can do here is, I can use the identity features. I can create or configure the B2C identity for my API management. Once I configure the B2C identity, any user who is going to sign up to the developer portal, they need to sign up to B2C, and there will be a guest user created in my Active Directory, and that's how I would be able to control the user as an administrator, that this is the user who has been using to the API management. So what will happen is, a user will be created to your Active Directory B2C account, and also a user will be managed here by the API management itself. In that case, you can ignore this particular user management, because your actual management of the user is going to be managed from the B2C account. So if you are finding it difficult about understanding the B2C, and if you are interested to know more about configuring the B2C on the API management, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to create another video for you, how do you configure the B2C on the API management. Moving on, you can set up the delegation app. So this is again an interesting feature. This is all these, by the way, all these properties which we are looking at it, if you see, it's more specific to the developer portal, right? So here in the delegation section, what we are saying is, instead of managing the sign up process from the built-in development portal itself, what API management is saying is, you create your own page for signing and sign up, your own custom application, and give us the URL of your custom application page here in the delegation endpoint URL. And then whenever somebody is going to click on the sign up button, we will navigate that particular user from the developer portal to your custom web application page, wherein user will be sign up and sign in, and it will see all the custom registration page with terms and conditions, pricing information about your APIs, your products, and all those things. Basically, about the more information, custom information about your own business. Basically, if you want to perform that level of actions, for example, instead of using built-in OAuth2 AD, if you have your own authorization mechanism which you have built in for all your application, and you want to follow the same mechanism to be followed by the API management, and that built-in feature, which is obviously it is not available in the B2 in the API management, then to integrate your own built-in signing process, you can use this delegation procedure. You have the documentation about the delegation procedure. If you want, you can find out the details about the delegation process and configure the delegation URL. It is fairly easy and simple. Next is about bringing the OAuth2 for your developer portal. So if you want your developer portal to be managed by any specific OAuth2 provider, you can do that as well. What you can do is, let's say I have the OAuth2 enterprise account, wherein all my organization's accounts or user are managed by the OAuth2 provider. So what I can do here is, I can configure that particular OAuth2 into the API management, so that anytime any user who is showing interest to my developer portal, to my API management portal, they can come to me via the OAuth2 signing and sign up process. Again, it's a OpenID Connect is the similar thing as an OAuth2. You can configure that as well if you wish to. Let's move on to the monitoring sections quickly. Monitoring, API management provides a really detailed level of monitoring for all your APIs, developer portals, and managing your entire portal at the very granular level. Such an example, let's say I want to know how many APIs has been failed due to XYZ reason, or if I want to know which is the API which has been used most in 1 week of duration, or which has been API which has got more number of failures, or which has been API which is working very slow from the response perspective. So to get all those kind of a telemetry data, analytical data, API management, Microsoft API management is doing all those analysis for you. So wherein you get all those analysis data for you, and you get the information right away, the analytical result, without writing any single line of code. So this is what, so if you see, we have in our demonstration, we have hit the operations, get operations. So if you see that operations was successfully, request was 2 times, one was authorized, and one of them was authorized. So total number of requests for 3 times. All those details I'm getting it, average response time, average service response time, data transfer, and everything I'm getting it here. The number of products, how many number of products we have, all those information about the products, subscriptions. So how many subscription it has got, your API management has got in a particular duration. So you can filter out the duration right from here on the top panel, the timing panel, or if you want, you can specify the specific custom time range. I believe it would have the 90 days of time limit to chosen. Next, you can have the list of user who's been requested, or the, and the last one is about the number of requests which has been sent to the API management. So you get all those details about the your APIs. If I click on the API specific request, I should have the detail about that as well. So you're getting the idea about the analytical power which is bring with the API management by Microsoft, right? On top of that, let's say if I want to capture or any telemetry data out of the API management onto the application insight or the log analytics, so what I can do here is I can host the API management, or I can attach the API management to the application insight right from here. Next is the alerting. If you are using the Azure automation job or Azure automation account, wherein you have the custom emails or custom monitoring which you want to configure, or alerts you want to configure, you can manage all those customization right here from the alert sections. Logging or shipping your logs to the app log analytics from the API manager is fairly easy. You just configure the log analytics, and you can write down your own queries to customize your application logs basically. So it uses the KQL Custo query language for monitoring or retrieving your data from the logs basically. Now let's move on to the interesting feature about the infrastructure of your API management. So as while creating the API management demonstration, as we have discussed about the feature called the pricing tier, right? So in the pricing tier, as I mentioned, that you get the different feature. If I go to this full list of different settings, so as I was kind of complaining about the development versus premium features, so if you see, the virtual network feature is available in the development tier and the premium tier as well, which is not available in basic and standard tier. Obviously there is a huge pricing range difference between the development tier and the premium tier. So it's not only about the virtual network only, but it is also about the performance of the application and other features such as an Redis cache. So if you know that the API management supports the built-in cache, or you can attach the external Redis cache as well. So it has got, if you are using the premium API management, it has got 5 GB of cache limit, and then the number of requests per second. From the performance perspective, you get is the 4000 requests per unit. It might look less to the perspective of if you have the thousands of, or let's say 4000 or 5000 microservice as in backend, so that might look very so slow in terms of the your NFR perspective. So you can see the 4000 is mentioned as per the number of units per API management, but you can increase the number of unit as well. I'll walk you through about the number of unit. And next is about the different features, and in the basic and the premium and standard is you get some differences on the pricing basis. You get different features, right? So if I go to the developer, let's say if I change to premium, so here you get the option to change the number of instances. By default, developer has comes with the single tier. There is no SLA, obviously there is no service level agreement promised by Microsoft API Management if you choose the development tier. So it's not recommended to use it in the production. Obviously it has been mentioned clearly in the documentation, but it is good for doing the your own development. So meanwhile you are in the development phase, it is always better to use the development feature, as most of the features are common basically between premium and the development tier. So as I was saying, you can have the multiple units of your API management. So if one of them is offering 4000 per request, so you can go, I guess, up to 10 units, and so it can go up to 40,000 requests per second, which is a lot. If you have requirement beyond that, you can ask Microsoft to increase the capacity more than 10, but you need to raise a ticket with them and they should be able to help you with that. This is what the documentation says. Now next is about the number of the location which I'm using right now, and the application gateway. You can add the application gateway about inside your API management. This is not application gateway, this is the API management gateway. Next is the external cache. As I was saying, that you can attach the external cache to the API management. So if you wish to use the Redis cache as in caching service, so you can go ahead and attach a Redis cache to the API management right away from here. You can attach a custom domain to API management if you have the SSL certificate and the custom domain configured with you. You can attach a custom domain to the API management. By using the custom domain, you should be able to use your own custom application URL for the developer portal and for your APIs as well. As on the networking section, as you can see at the moment, network option is off, which means that there is no network restriction applied. As I have mentioned, that it is a path service, so it would be accessible from the outside, but obviously you need to subscribe for a product, you need to pass on the subscription key, and without a subscription key and the API URL, you won't be able to access it. So that is one layer of security it has got. On top of that, you can apply the security from the SSL certificate layer as well, so which you can find it here at the bottom. But even beyond that, if you want to restrict your APIs to a specific network, so what you can do is you can go to the internal section, select a virtual network. Here I don't have a virtual network created, but you can create a virtual network right from here and then associate your API management to a specific virtual network and the subnet. Yeah, one thing to remember here is whenever you are going to make such changes on your API management, it will take at least 40 minutes to bring on your API management back onto the functional stage. So you need to be very careful about any timings about the change of settings such as a network. settings, right? If you change the product and policy, that's totally fine, it won't take much time. Next is about the managing the API. So this is again a cool feature which I liked about it. So let's say if you want to manage all your products APIs through the REST APIs, right? So if you have your own REST API and you want to manage all your API management, APIs, products, policies, everything from the REST API endpoint. So using the management API, you should be able to access it. So what do you need to do is you need to enable this particular button, and once you enable that, you have the built-in feature available. So what it gives you is it gives you the identification and the primary key, like you get the primary key in the storage account. So it is again the kind of this accessibility of accessing all the API management features, such as, and for example, if I want to create new API, create new product, create new or update or create new users, groups, policies, anything I want to, which I am doing it right here from the PowerShell or from the manual from the developer portal. If I want to manage it through the ARM based REST API, so what I can do here, I can use this storage account built-in API management storage account keys. This is just a basically a storage account keys. You use this key, create a SaaS key token, which you can create it right from here, or if you want you can have this C# code to create a token. Once you have the shared access signature SaaS key token available with you, you would be able to call the REST API. I'll show you just quickly how the APIs looks like in the API management. So as I was saying, you have full set of features and capabilities for all your APIs. Like for example, if I want to create any policies, products, I can go ahead and use the API management products, API products. Let me go ahead and show you one of the policies or operations. So let's say this is the group. So let me call the group. So what you can do is you can use the try button, sign in here, log in, and then once you log into the API management, you should be able to test the REST API right away from the Microsoft portal docs.microsoft itself. You can use the Postman to hit the API as well. Next is the repository. All your code and the component is being managed through the Git repository. So if you want, you can download the entire uh, developer portal layout and everything on your local machine through this Git URL. So what you can do here is you can save to the repository, you can get the credentials. So what do you need to do is you need to copy this URL, type in git clone command. With this URL, it will ask you the credential, use the credential which has been given by this particular thing, and once you provide the credential, you have the entire source code of your API management. Source code has been downloaded here. All the products, policies, the API management layout URLs, layout, developer portal layout, everything will be downloaded here on your local machine. Then you can manage the application code. There are some limitation, you won't be able to manage everything 100%. For example, you won't be able to manage the storage account or the database or the virtual network which it is managing underneath. So there are some limitation, but there are something related to the custom layouts, products, policies. If you want to manage through your own source code repository through the Git, yes, you have the option to download the source code on your local machine and then manage the API management code from the APIs. From the security side, as I mentioned, that you can manage the security of your API management through the like SSL. You can configure a different external certificate, internal certificate to your API management, and any requester who is requesting to any specific API, obviously they need to pass on the subscription key, and then once they pass on the subscription key, if you have the certificate attached, then they need to pass on the certificate information as well, which is matching to a thumbprint which we have uploaded here. there is thumbprint is not going to match, SSL termination will not happen, and your request will be rejected. So again, it is going to be a data protection or the security layer which has been provided on your API management by the API Microsoft API management. So this is more about the API management. It has got wide variety of features and list of features basically available for you to use. Depending upon what exactly you need, you can do so many things here. Basically, most of them, as a developer, if you are an architect, you have the wide variety of options to choose on to bring your application at the at most layer, right, at the most secure layer. Now, one thing to tell you about the API management, when I publish the API management, in this case it has been hosted on a public IP address because it's external. But if you want, you once you make it to internal to a specific IP address, you can see at the moment it is got the public IP address. Once you expose to the restrict your API management to the internal case, then you would be able to access your API management from the private IP address as well. So you get the private IP address just next to the public IP address, and all your application, let's say if I have the microservices hosted on the mesh service or service fabric, then my service can access the API management on a private IP address, or my API management can access the service fabric which is deployed on a private internal load balancer. Then they can access it between the subnet to subnet connectivity, right? So that is more of the way you want to design your application, you want to manage your uh, application data or the application architecture. If you want, you can specify that feature as well. Yep. I hope this particular demonstration of API management is useful for you. Please do let me know if you wish to explain me more better on any specific area. I'm happy to provide more demonstration, more feature detail about the API management. Thanks for watching.